guys, we got a lot to cover today. First things first, I'm going to go over kind of my Bitcoin thesis, all my setups I'm going to cover. We're going to go over the kind of AI article, how it can kind of, I think, some stocks to look at. I think we're also going to look at some of the order flow on Bitcoin. I think it's been very important, kind of what's been going on. Let's get us right into it. We got a lot to cover. Some stocks as well. Want to look at gold. So, all right. First things first, Bitcoin. Where are we? Kind of high time frame, right? Big range that we broke down from. We talked about this in the last video. And we were talking about how this zone down here was the first kind of zone to look for a bounce, right? And we're bouncing good, but I don't think we're really out of the woods yet. We're kind of just back in this old range, right, that we established. So I, I don't know. I mean, all hypothetical, the market could rip up tomorrow, right? But let's say we do keep tracking up, right? I mean, is this just going to be a short back at the underside of this range, somewhere near these kind of longer term moving averages? I don't know. Um, are we going to be bullish, kind of December rally, and then at the end of December, is this the short? Um, or maybe it's not. Maybe because if we accept back above these longer term moving averages and we're back in this range, I'm not going to fight it, right? But but I think it still makes sense to look for shorts, right? Until these things kind of flip, at least personally for me. So kind of a more granular view. I like to look at this TPO chart. If you guys don't know what a TPO chart is, I got a series coming out soon. I'll go over it, but it's just kind of a way to present information about the market. Just makes it easier. That's basically it. So first things first, they got a drawing tool on here. There they go. Okay, so we have some composites. A composite is just kind of a bunch of days of overlapping value like this. So we're over kind of this composite back here and this composite that we have, right? We're kind of teetering on the edge of it, building value, um, kind of right here. So, I, I mean, it feels like this should be a good short, right? But I don't know. We're back kind of, if we're back inside this composite up here, I don't really see a reason to. I could see us, everyone got bearish, like we were saying, near the lows. And if all the shorts haven't been squeezed yet, people start thinking it's back and we get some kind of firepower behind us. Um, maybe we even come down sweep here. But if we accept back above here, and we're back in this range, I mean, I think you can target around 97. I mean, even 100, right? Kind of filling out this upper gap here, I think is a good target if we keep tracking higher. So, what would that kind of look like on the lower time frames? If we kind of look at the hourly here, um, you guys can kind of see the composites that I was talking about. So, we're going to have a composite here. We kind of have a composite here that we kind of swept, right? And now we're trading kind of on the top side of this old composite. And then we have this one I drew, the point of control like this. Then it's just kind of an air pocket, right? Here, I think it's actually here. Air pockets here. Then we have 100K. So, kind of my plan is if we're trading cleanly above this zone and we're kind of just building some ranges up here, I'm kind of just gonna go with the break. If we break up, I'm not gonna fade it right away. Excuse me. I would look for some continuation, right? To probably to 100. Excuse me, to be honest with you. And if we break down, look for these singles to fill out down here. So that's kind of my plans right now. If we don't build a range and we just kind of break up tomorrow, maybe I'll try to tag on along up to like the top of this, maybe like 97. But that's kind of my plans right now with Bitcoin. Um, from a flow perspective, spot has been finally picking up right near these lows. You guys can just see the total shift in Coinbase. Blue is going to be Coinbase here, and then we have Binance. Binance selling, but I, they seem to kind of always be selling spot. So I don't know recently, but From an OI perspective, open interest, we're back. It might sound stupid to some people, but I do like to use these kind of open interest boxes, right? So mm, something like this. So just something to keep in mind, right? The range could be down here, wherever you want to do it, but I think ranges of open interest are a very useful tool, especially like something down here, right? Let's say this is the top of the range. We bottomed damn near close to the top of the range again, and then you kind of squeeze that out. So just something I'm looking at actually. Maybe we get kind of a little bit more open interest come off as we push higher. But again, you guys know kind of my overarching thesis, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. If it goes up, I'm going to look to short it. Um, if it turns here, it is what it is. I'll get short. You can kind of put a setup where you're like short here, maybe your stops above the high. You're just kind of targeting to fill out of these singles, right? Kind of like a 1.5 risk reward kind of trade like that. So that's Bitcoin real fast. Let's go over kind of this AI thing. Or not the AI thing, the robotic thing. I think this is actually important because whenever they admit anything, you guys remember they were I forgot what stocks you're talking about a couple months ago, and they just like went up 40% in a day. So I put some robotics on my watch list. Um, you guys know Tesla oh, tries to catch the robotics kind of trade, and it looks to be trading really cleanly. So I keep this one on your watch list for sure. This is what I'm watching closely, and then I'll share with you guys in kind of a. I'm gonna do like a robotics only video and kind of go through some robotics stocks I think are interesting. So I got Tesla, the robotics, and then we also saw. I mean, this ADP didn't really move price at all. I don't think it was important at all. Um, Then we have PCE, which I don't think is going to be that important. And then we just kind of have FOMC, which we haven't really had a lot of data around it. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about FOMC, to be honest with you guys. It's kind of, I think the language is going to be very important. He's probably going to say we don't have enough data because blah, blah, blah is closed, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's kind of the news. Let's go over some other things real fast. MSTR, guys. I think, I mean, so I'm just looking at my second screen here with some notes. The correlation right now is pretty high, right? And an MSTR is basically leveraged Bitcoin. So if you think Bitcoin is bottomed or is putting in a bottom, right? Like maybe it doesn't bottom here, but this is the bottoming range. I think it might make sense um to put on some MSTR risk. So hopefully I'm right and we kind of form a range in here somewhere. And what I could see myself doing is if we kind of trade back down here and let's say MSTR is doing something like this, maybe I mean, you guys see this shit has just been pounded, right? The trend down. The trend is down. So we could get a squeeze kind of like in Bitcoin back to almost this range low or even up here. Something I'm considering. It's kind of a thesis I've been putting together, but maybe if you're one along Bitcoin and you're kind of targeting 104, I think it might actually make sense to pick up some MSTR calls. Um, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not buying any yet. So I think it's an interesting trade. We're starting to take back some key moving averages. You guys can see even on like the 4 hour, we're starting to kind of flip the trend. I mean, this is the most logical point on the chart for a bounce, right? We're all the way back back down to this kind of range that we had here, this consolidation. Um, I want to throw this on the chart. You guys look, this is of course, it's going to be black. Oops. Um, I want to throw the uh, volume profile here on the chart. Just want to check something out. Yeah. I mean, this is like that high volume node from this kind of consolidation. And then you guys can see it's basically just this low volume area up until here, right? So maybe this tracks down and then this ends up being the resistance. But if we're just gonna carve this area out, put in a range here like Bitcoin, I think calls might be an interesting play. And then puts as well, once maybe you think Bitcoin is turned. It's hard to play both sides of the market, but it's kind of something I've been thinking about. I think MSTR is finally in a spot where, I mean, it at least makes sense to put on some risk. If you look at the RSI on the daily, right? We're oversold twice, right? The first time it's oversold, sometimes you get the like over here, right? It's overbought, it keeps being overbought, so we can just keep going down. But last time we were oversold on the weekly, I mean, I don't know, guys. Look at the opportunity. I don't know. Even if it ranges, right? Like we're talking about with Bitcoin, I mean, 140% rally. Uh, I don't know. I think it might be actually a good kind of a good trade. So this is one of my main things I'm watching. I'm watching Bitcoin, MSTR, and then Tesla for the robotic stuff. And then I'll share you guys a list in my next video with kind of the robotic stocks that I'm watching. But I think that's it. Um, I gave you guys all my shorter term Bitcoin trades. We went through all those on here. I hope that made sense. Again, probably after a crazy trend day, it looks like we're just going to put in another range day. So, Bitcoin kind of trades more boring now. We don't have these just extended trend days, sadly. And I think that's kind of it. If you guys got any questions, throw them in the comments. But that's kind of my wrap up for the market. All right, thanks.